Good Friday morning. Today is another first alert weather day as we'll have the potential for lightning fires. This is a fire that we don't have official confirmation on it, but if I had to guess, this is probably a holdover fire from some of the lightning we were tracking yesterday morning. The Lake Creek fire, it's 9 miles to the south of Pilot Rock. It's really burning in the middle of nowhere. 350 acres, don't have any word on containment. So for today, there's going to be the potential once again for lightning fires in lower elevations and in the Cascades, lightning over critically dry vegetation. Thankfully, the vegetation not as dry for today, but still there will be that potential. Just a few showers this morning in the southern blues, nothing else, but later today we could have more thunderstorms popping up on the map. Very mild / warm out there, 60s and 70s for lower elevations. Your day planner forecast for today. For lower elevations, 70s and 80s as soon as lunchtime, and then 80s and 90s at the hottest part of the day. Actually, a couple degrees cooler than normal for this part of the year. So the bottom line for the forecast, chance for thunderstorms and fires again today. Pretty nice weekend, mostly dry, and then perhaps another round of thunderstorms late Sunday into Monday. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about all of it coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a traffic stop in Kennewick quickly turns into a struggle and arrest after police say a speeding driver refused to follow instructions. The details coming up. Plus, a break-in at the Prosser School District office leaves athletic trophies from the 1950s shattered. We have more details on what police found. And should Yakima County lift its ban on pot shops? A new ballot measure puts the question to voters. We have what's at stake and why opinions may be shifting. It's all coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal. It is Friday, August 1st. Happy first day of August. We want to get into your top stories, and we're starting off with new this morning out of Kennewick. A simple traffic stop quickly turns into a struggle and arrest after police say a speeding driver refused to follow basic instructions. This happened around 2:40 yesterday at 10th and Osborne. The driver, identified as 40-year-old Andrew Acton, was pulled over for going 52 in a 35. But instead of staying in his car, Acton got out, ignored repeated commands, and resisted arrest. The officer eventually took him into custody, where he now faces charges of obstruction and resisting arrest. No injuries have been reported. Now to a follow-up on the Uptown Shopping Center shooting in Richland from last year. This morning we're learning Isaiah Rodriguez, who pleaded guilty to shooting and killing a man, has been sentenced to 23 years in prison. The shooting happened in November of 2024, and Richland police say 36-year-old Michael Perkins and 28-year-old Rodriguez had been arguing when Rodriguez pulled out a gun and shot Perkins before running off. Rodriguez was arrested in the Portland, Oregon area, and this was on a nationwide warrant for second-degree murder. Now to a crime alert in Prosser. The police department is investigating after several people broke into the school district building. According to officials, around 10 p.m. Wednesday night, officers responded to a report of suspicious circumstances at the administration building. Police say they arrived to find extensive damage inside, including several broken athletic trophies from the 1950s. Cops searched the building and found a juvenile boy hiding. He was taken into custody after initially running away for second-degree burglary. Anybody with any information is asked to contact Prosser Police. Looking at Pasco now and getting you ready for your next trip out of the Tri-Cities Airport, Alaska Airlines is adding a brand new flight out of PSC. So starting October 26th, the airline will offer daily flights to the Hollywood Burbank Airport in California. The new flight comes after Avelo, the airline that currently flies the route, announced it will be ending air service on the West Coast. Airport Director Buck Taft says there will be plenty of ways for passengers to get to the LA area, as Breeze Airlines also is set to pick up flights to Hollywood Burbank in March of 2026.
So this is just giving the community those additional seats and additional flights into the LA basin every day. So now on a good day, you'll have the ability to get to the LA basin 3 different times in a day.
Taft also says that passengers should continue arriving an hour and a half before flight times to ensure they can get through TSA. A new question is heading to Yakima voters for this year's general election. Should cannabis businesses be allowed in unincorporated parts of the county? Apple Valley News Now's William Albert explains why residents may want to start thinking about this issue now.
Yakima County Commissioners have approved a non-binding advisory measure, Proposition 1, that will ask voters whether to keep or lift the ban on cannabis production, processing, and retail sales. Right now, Yakima County doesn't allow for any cannabis businesses in its unincorporated area. Those are the parts of the county outside of the city limits. Even though cannabis is legal in Washington state, cities and counties still have the power to ban it through zoning ordinance. And Commissioner Kyle Curtis says a big chunk of the county's population actually lives in those unincorporated areas.
About a third of our population lives in the city of Yakima jurisdiction. The other third lives in all of our other 13 cities and municipals, and the other third of our population lives out in our unincorporated, so they're not under any city jurisdiction.
Commissioner Curtis believes voters' attitudes around cannabis may have shifted since 2017, when the last advisory vote was held.
I think when the voters hear cannabis and they hear that we're losing on thousands of dollars that are being left on the table that could be utilized here locally, I think people will consider that and vote differently.
Still, past votes have shown strong support for keeping the ban in place.
Each one indicating that Yakima residents are in favor of the ban still. However, Commissioner Curtis hopes that soon changes.
$400,000 and $500,000 a year that the county could collect through this cannabis excise tax that we're leaving on the table. And while that's only a few $1,000s, that few $1,000s actually deploy an additional deputy on our street.
But not all commissioners are on board. Commissioner Lindy from District 3 supports keeping the ban. He says lifting it would send the wrong message.
If we as a county come out and authorize recreational marijuana, we're sending a message that we think it's okay. And I don't want to send that message because I think it would be an inaccurate message.
Commissioner Lindy also points to the research he says links marijuana to teen suicide.
The most often cited factor in that suicide is the fact that they had substance abuse. And the number one substance that they found involved was marijuana. Okay? Those are things that I just can't ignore. That, you know, for a little bit of extra money into our coffer, we're putting more of our citizens at risk.
Whether you're for or against it, this is your chance to weigh in. Make sure to vote this general election. In Yakima, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
And Yakima County's general election will be held on November 4th. Taking a look at local living, the Yakima Valley wine industry earned some national recognition this week. Apple Valley News Now's Natalie Keller tells us more about the award.
It seems like USA Today heard through the grapevine about the variety and quality of Yakima Valley wine. The valley has been named one of the top 5 wine regions in the country in the publication's 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards. This is the second year in a row it's made the list.
It's great for tourism, it's great for our region, and it really gives a testament to the growers, the wineries, the winemakers who are putting out great wine.
One of those winemakers is Brian Mackey from Deneen Vineyards in Zilla.
Any sort of recognition, of course, is wonderful. You know, we know how great we are, so it's great. It's great to have other people appreciate what we're doing as well.
Mackey says that Washington is already an ideal place to grow grapes, but that the Yakima Valley's elevation and climate make it even better.
Stewart says the region was probably also selected because of the other tourism options in the area. It was first chosen by a panel of wine experts and journalists and then voted on by the public. Although the valley was voted #1 last year, Stewart and Mackey are still proud of the award and hope to move up the ranks.
Everybody is united in an effort to make the wine better always. You know, that's part of growing grapes and making wine is that you're always improving.
Mackey says it's the same attitude they'll have as they hope to make great wine for years to come. From Zilla, Natalie Keller, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Natalie. Now voting for the award will reopen next summer. And keep it here because coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, President Trump makes a surprise move, raising rates on dozens of countries, including Canada, starting today. What this means for consumers is coming up in your national headlines. But first, our Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your first alert weather forecast. Keep it here. Good Morning Northwest. We'll be right back.
Starting at $4.49, you can get one, make it a double, or go for 3 delicious patties. Go as big as you want with my Bonus Jack combo starting at $4.49. Now you can say you're loving it and actually mean it. Get so much more. Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Your Tri-City Dust Devils are still basking in the glory of the boat races and playing as the Columbia River Rooster Tails all weekend long. Friday, August 1st is a family feast night with special prices on select food and drinks thanks to Yoke's Fresh Market. And Saturday, August 2nd, we'll all enjoy a post-game fireworks show thanks to Teamsters Local 839. For tickets, head to the official site dustdevilsbaseball.com. Dust Devils Baseball. It will blow you away.
On behalf of STCU, we want to present you with this $1,000 check.
Brian is the regional logistics leader. He makes sure things are ready when it comes to disaster response.
To nominate someone, click on Volunteers Count at AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
Like most people, my days are nonstop. When I'm working, I need to stay focused, not worried about my finances. That's why I went looking for a bank that makes managing my money effortless. Apple was exactly what I needed. Helpful people with easy-to-use tools. Now, I spend less time stressing about money and more time doing the things I enjoy. Where do you credit union?
Right now, U.S. Cellular makes it easy to switch and get $1,000 off any phone with no trade-in.
No trade-in? But we're willing to trade in our teeth.
Nope, you don't have to trade your teeth in or an old phone.
I like that.
Yeah, your parents get an amazing deal.
I just lost this one.
Yeah, you get to leave your tooth under your pillow.
For me, it's tooth fairy time.
Get $1,000 off any phone with no trade-in, and we'll pay off your current contract when you switch. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Starting at $4.49, you can get one, make it a double, or go for 3 delicious patties. Go as big as you want with my Bonus Jack combo starting at $4.49. Now you can say you're loving it and actually mean it. Get so much more. Welcome to Jack in the Box.
We're raising the stakes.
We have a chance to win $500,000.
What the? I'm excited to see the phony relationships ripping apart at the seams.
It was nice knowing you guys.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is a first alert weather day because of the lightning fire risk, but on the periphery of our viewing area in Chelan County, there's this flash flood watch in place due to the potential of heavy rainfall over some burn scars. So we'll watch this very closely. This runs from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Okay, back to our area. For today, we're going to have highs that are technically going to be a couple degrees below average for this time of the year, but still pretty toasty out there with 80s and 90s for lower elevations. Going to have the potential for thunderstorms across the map, about 20 to 30% chances for the valleys, for portions of the basin, and for the foothills and blues. Then for tonight, overnight low is going to drop down into the 50s and 60s for lower elevations, feeling pretty good out there. And at this point, it looks like the best thunderstorm chances are, well, of course, they're going to be much lower, around 10 to 20% chances in the blues, in the blue foothills, and for some portions of the basin, but mainly from Connell and Adello and points northward. Okay, we're also tracking the potential for a little bit of haze over the next couple of days, some light upper level haze for most spots, but there could be some thicker haze resulting from this fire that is burning on the west side. And I didn't mean to show this graphic, but here it is. Anyway, Watershed 2025, you see there's going to be about a 30% chance of thunderstorms at the gorge in George, but for Saturday and Sunday, lots of sunshine. And high temperature is going to bounce between 85 to 90. There's another chance for thunderstorms as we head into next week. I'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Now to your national headlines. We're looking at the latest on the Trump administration's tariffs. Today's deadline for other countries to make a deal has now been pushed back a week. But the uncertainty is having a big impact on small businesses and families. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details.
This morning, President Trump unveiling new tariff rates set to take effect in 7 days. The new deadline coming a day after Trump said the original August 1st deadline would not be extended. The executive order lays out rates to be applied against nearly 70 countries, including several of our largest trading partners. The tariffs range from 10% all the way up to 41%, with many countries sitting at 15%. One country's new tariff rate will begin today, Canada's. The president raising that country's tariff from 25% to 35%, although it will affect only a small percentage of Canadian products. As for Mexico, a new deal will pause higher tariffs on Mexican goods for another 90 days. The tariff whiplash has the Federal Reserve taking a wait-and-see approach to interest rates, even as President Trump pushes for a cut.
Higher tariffs have begun to show through more clearly to prices of some goods, but their overall effects on economic activity and inflation remain to be seen.
The changing tariffs causing a lot of uncertainty for consumers and businesses, including Jennifer Bergman, who's closing her toy store in New York City.
No one was willing to take the risk of having to raise their prices. No one knew what was going to happen, and so no one could plan. You can't plan when there's chaos, and Washington is chaos.
This week, Apple said it expects more than $1 billion in tariff losses next quarter. Procter & Gamble said they plan to raise prices on about a quarter of their products, in part because of the higher costs from President Trump's tariffs, including items like Crest toothpaste and Tide detergent. And one French skincare company also warning of higher prices to come on cosmetics. When asked whether he's concerned about tariffs raising prices for American consumers, Trump saying the only price that spiked is the hundreds of billions of dollars coming in.
And the very legality of the tariffs was the issue before a federal appeals court yesterday. Judges sharply questioning whether the president has the authority to issue tariffs in the first place, and that's without congressional approval. We'll, of course, keep tracking the story and update you once we learn more. And keep it here, because coming up next, Josh Colbreth is back with your full First Alert weather forecast. That'll be on the other side of the break in just a few minutes.
There's no such thing as a minor fender bender when you're on a motorcycle. And most of the time, motorcyclists get hurt when they go down. So if someone else's carelessness causes your luck to run out, find out what your rights are under the law.
Form or function? Should we push the timeline? Will it hold?
Should we outsource? What do you think?
Do you engineer it to work? Or design it to move? Give them what they want.
It needs to be taller, faster,
even cheaper. Or take things to new places. You've got to build the right team. No, that's the one. Revise it, redo it, develop it. Keep pushing until it's right.
Introducing the business card that gives back all you put in. The new Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business.
These dishes just aren't getting clean.
The problem isn't your machine. It's likely your detergent.
Really?
Really. I recommend switching to Cascade Platinum Plus. These new pods dissolve completely, releasing more soaking, scrubbing, and rinsing action. Plus, the grease-fighting power of Dawn, breaking down up to 100% of tough stuck-on foods.
That's impressive.
And it works so well, it even keeps your filter clean. Cascade. Roto-Rooter recommended, safe for pipes.
Your Tri-City Dust Devils are still basking in the glory of the boat races and playing as the Columbia River Rooster Tails all weekend long. Friday, August 1st is a family feast night with special prices on select food and drinks thanks to Yoke's Fresh Market. And Saturday, August 2nd, we'll all enjoy a post-game fireworks show thanks to Teamsters Local 839. For tickets, head to the official site, DustDevilsBaseball.com. Dust Devils Baseball. It will blow you away.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions. Home to possibility and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
There's no such thing as a minor fender bender when you're on a motorcycle. And most of the time, motorcyclists get hurt when they go down. So if someone else's carelessness causes your luck to run out, find out what your rights are under the law.
Indiana battles the storm live from Seattle Sunday at noon on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yep, today's another first alert weather day as we'll have the potential for more lightning fires. We saw one in the blues for yesterday. I think the best potential today is going to be in the Cascades and Upper Yakima Basin and for our lower elevations. Vegetation, thankfully, not as dry as it was yesterday, but still critically dry out there. Winds are going to be a bit of a factor. It could be a little bit breezy for this morning, but they're especially going to ramp up after 2 p.m., especially in the Kittitas Valley. Some of those gusts around 35 miles per hour. Now it's time, everything out with Futurecast radar. We're going to put this into motion, and by 8 this morning, Futurecast picking up on some more showers and thunderstorms, this time in the Blue Mountains and the Blue Foothills. By lunchtime, some of this starting to get into the lower Columbia Basin and around the hottest part of the day, maybe some of this now into the valleys and the Cascades. By 8, it looks like most of this is off the map. And around midnight, still pretty dry. We're going to start off Saturday pretty dry, and most spots are going to continue to be pretty dry on Saturday, but maybe a few more thunderstorms in the southern blues, especially down towards Battle Mountain and Ukiah. And then there's another chance of some thunderstorms as we head into Sunday and Monday. More on that in a second. But first, the wind's going to come back on Saturday. Once again, it could start off a little bit breezy, but after 2 p.m., that's when they're going to ramp up. And some of the strongest gusts going to be in the Kittitas Valley. Those gusts around 30 to 35 miles per hour. For Sunday, most spots dry, but about a 10 to 30% chance of some showers in the Blue Foothills, about a 30 to 50% chance of some thunderstorms in the blues. Those chances going to go up into Sunday night. And then for Monday, see, there's a pretty clear divide here. The eastern half of our viewing area is going to have a decent chance of some thunderstorms. The western half of the viewing area, a decent chance of some showers. Thankfully, vegetation dryness even lower as opposed to what it's going to be for today. So the lightning potential, or excuse me, the fire potential, it's not going to be 0, but it's not going to be as high as it was yesterday and as it will be for today. And in general, after Monday, we're going to trend drier and we're going to trend cooler too. About, say, 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. A low-end chance of showers today. A beautiful weekend. Maybe some thunderstorms return by Monday. In Yakima, a 20% chance of thunderstorms Friday. Sunny and very warm this weekend. Then perhaps a shower comes back into the picture early next week. In Ellensburg, thunderstorms possible today, dry for Saturday and Sunday, then a small chance of a shower Monday. In Hermiston, a low chance of a shower Friday, a beautiful Saturday, the more unsettled weather possible Sunday into Monday. Finally, for Walla Walla, chances of lightning for today, maybe another chance of that late Sunday into Monday.
Just in time for the weekend. So a few storms today, but then Saturday and Sunday are going to be pretty clear.
Yeah, Sunday, little chances of showers and thunderstorms in the Blue Foothills and the Blue Mountains, but Saturday is going to be an excellent day. Lots of sunshine.
Yay, good.
And normal high temperatures.
Good news. All right, keep it here because coming up next, a wrestling legend gone. Hulk Hogan, the icon who slammed his way into history, dead at 71. And this morning we have what the medical examiner is saying. It's all coming up in your entertainment news after the break.
Before, our service would be in and out. We wanted to switch to T-Mobile to make sure that we have better coverage.
T-Mobile is now the best network, and with the most satellites, we're connecting hundreds of thousands in places where cell towers can't reach with T-Satellite.
I signed up for T-Satellite to give me peace of mind as a mom that makes life better knowing that it's there when we need it.
Upgrade to the best network. Right now, T-Mobile will pay off 4 phones up to $3,200. Plus, hook you up with 4 new phones on us. Switch today.
Here in Grandview, we're happy to say that we found a home here for our pizza oven, and here we are making pizza for everybody. This restaurant really concentrates on pizza, some nice submarine-style sandwiches, and a full salad bar. And the high quality of the products that we use is, we're thinking it's going to set us apart. This is going to be a great place to bring the family, and here we are making pizza for everybody. Come on down to Grace Pizza. We look forward to seeing you here.
J.D. Power has ranked Nissan #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands. And to celebrate, you can now get in one of these award-winning SUVs with 0% APR for 60 months. The all-new turbocharged Nissan Murano, the rugged Nissan Pathfinder, and the best-selling Nissan Rogue. Visit Nissan today and drive away in an award-winning SUV.
Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on the 2025 Nissan Rogue, Pathfinder, or Murano.
Every heartbeat is a second chance. At Prosser Memorial Health, our cardiac rehabilitation program empowers your recovery with expert care and state-of-the-art TechnoGym smart equipment for safe, personalized fitness after a heart event. Whether you've had a heart attack, bypass surgery, valve repair, or heart failure, ask your provider for a referral. With tailored sessions over 12 weeks, supervised by medical professionals, we support your whole health, body, mind, and heart. Learn more at prosserhealth.org. This is how we care.
This summer heats up on Friday, August 8th at Legends Casino Hotel as Roy Jones Jr. presents a pro boxing and entertainment event like no other. Yakima's own Andrew Murphy looks to remain undefeated, while female boxer Maricela Cornejo from Prosser join rising international stars from Germany and Mexico. Plus, there is a heavyweight from China you have to see to believe. Tickets start at just $40 and can be purchased at Ticketmaster.com or the Legends Gift Shop. It's a Midsummer Night's Dream of hot boxing and sizzling entertainment. Friday, August 8th at Legends Casino Hotel. Get your tickets now.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In your entertainment headlines, we're learning more about the death of a wrestling legend.
Yeah, it's been confirmed professional wrestler Hulk Hogan died of a heart attack. That's according to the county medical examiner's office.
Officials there also confirmed that Hogan had other health issues prior to his death, including blood cancer and an irregular heartbeat. Hogan became a household name during the 1980s and 1990s, and that's thanks to his work in the wrestling ring, which helped make the sport a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Hogan, who died just last week, was 71 years old.
And in more entertainment news, Justin Timberlake is revealing he was recently diagnosed with Lyme disease. In an Instagram post, Timberlake said living with the bacterial infection can be, quote, relentlessly debilitating both mentally and physically.
Since April 2024, Timberlake was on the road for his Forget Tomorrow World Tour. He completed the last show Wednesday in Istanbul. Timberlake said that at one point he had to decide whether or not he could continue performing and was, quote, glad I kept going.
Well, that's something that's really going to ruin the world tour, but it looks like he was done with it. Yeah, the last show wrapped up this week.
Yeah,
but
that's why you got to watch for ticks.
Yeah.
Ticks, carriers of Lyme disease, always.
Yeah, be careful. And I know one tip officials say is to like wash your clothes immediately after like being outside. That's something I think most of us don't. I kind of like leave it there and forget about it, like in the hamper. So good things to.
I think you're supposed to like, if you get a tick, you're supposed to burn it. And
really?
They're not, if they bury their head, that's when
then
it
you
can
can't see them.
Yeah.
Ugh, now I'm getting itchy just thinking about it. I just scratched myself. Okay, well, wishing the best for Hogan and Timberlake, but keep it here because coming up next, a Milton Freewater teen's life changed in seconds after a trampoline accident. And now he's making big strides in recovery. With the inspiring update just ahead. And Osprey Point, more on that project is coming up next. But first, we're going to check out your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, a monster milestone for Apple. The company says it has shipped its 3 billionth iPhone, and despite some struggles, Apple says sales are up 13% year over year, generating nearly $45 billion in revenue. Up next, a new pair of smart glasses promising to remember your life for you. Brilliant Labs just unveiled Halo, AI-enabled glasses that record what you see and hear with a virtual assistant that talks like a real person. They launch at $299 and start shipping this November. This morning, a Severance-style terminal could be coming to your desk. A startup is crowdfunding a real, working version of the Lumen keyboard with built-in trackball and innie and outie layouts. It starts at $599, but will only be made if Kickstarter hits its goal. Keyboard is cool and all, it's just not my type. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
My life is full of questions.
Mom, is yellow a light or a dark?
How do I clean an aioli stain? Thankfully, Tide's the answer to almost all of them.
Why do we even buy napkins?
Who's Tide?
In cold water, clean white soap. It can with Tide.
Do I need to pre-treat guacamole? No, with Tide. This is chocolate, right? Just use
Tide? Yeah.
No matter who's doing it, on what cycle, or in what temperature, Tide works. So I can focus on all the other questions.
Do crabs have eyebrows?
For all of life's laundry questions, it's got to be Tide.
You're feeding my grand dog Blue, right?
Purina One.
The Blue's got deboned chicken meal, brown rice, oatmeal, barley.
Purina One has chicken, rice flour, corn gluten meal, whole grain corn, chicken byproduct meal.
Let's switch to Blue.
Some like them on an ice cream sandwich. Eat them how you like them.
Pop-Tart. Crazy!
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica DeLaw.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, 3-degree guarantee time. How's it looking?
It's looking bad. So we were ribbing on each other during the break. It's time to rib on me. As if this was the 6-degree guarantee, I wouldn't have gotten it right. Yesterday, I went with the forecast having 99, verified at 92. No, hey, just a bit outside, as Bob Uecker would say. So no one wins anything. So yeah, that was 2 days in a row of getting it wrong. So for today, going with the forecast high of 93 in Pasco Tri-Cities. If it verifies between 90 to 96, we're going to get some momentum going. The jackpot's going to get back up to $25. If that doesn't happen, then no one's going to win anything again. So hopefully that does not come to fruition. Okay, today, a first alert weather day as we'll have the potential for lightning fires for lower elevations and in the Cascades in the upper Yakima Basin, as we could have lightning over critically dry vegetation. Later this morning, we're going to track some thunderstorms popping up on the map, but for now, just a few showers in the southern blues. Temperatures are feeling pretty good out there right now. 60s and 70s for lower elevations, 50s in the Cascades, 50s and 60s in the blues. Your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities, our best chance of showers is going to be around midday, late morning to early afternoon. After that, we're looking pretty dry and we're looking cooler as opposed to yesterday. As well, I guess I went with forecast high 99 yesterday and verified at 92. So if my forecast verifies for today, it's actually going to be just about as warm as yesterday. I'll take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast and another look ahead at the watershed forecast that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Starting this half hour off with an update on a Milton Freewater teen whose life changed in an instant, and this after a trampoline accident left him with a spinal cord injury. 16-year-old David Sample and his mom, Crystal Perrin, have been discharged from a hospital in Colorado. They're now in outpatient housing nearby that area as David continues his rehab journey. Perrin says her son has made tremendous strides as he's now using a manual wheelchair, pushing himself around and transferring in and out of bed all on his own. She says despite the challenges, David is determined to get back to his old routine.
He's looking forward to getting back home and just being back in his house and just being around his own environment. But also, he really would love to play basketball with his friends again. So he's just trying to get strong enough to be able to stand up and play.
Perrin says they hope to be back home towards the end of August. And those in and around our area are preparing for that day. A local nonprofit rolled up their sleeves to start remodeling his home. Chris Egan, president of the Brent Oliver 541 Foundation and co-founder, says their organization is all about showing others that physical or emotional injury or trauma doesn't have to limit your life. He says this is where they stand so far in the process.
We've started the initial demolition process in preparation for concrete. I believe tomorrow forming will begin, and next week this place will look way different. All the concrete will be in place, and then we'll move forward with interior improvements.
And if you're looking to volunteer or donate to this cause, you can do so by visiting our website. That's applevalleynewsnow.com. Looking to Pasco now, where the Osprey Point project, which was expected to kick off earlier this year, has been put on pause. And this is because of construction. So the project is on hold as the Port of Pasco, the construction company, and City of Pasco work through time frame and permit details. The project aims to transform the 55-acre Osprey Point property into a hub for housing, restaurants, and commercial use. It also plans to build a marketplace and improve the area's waterfront access. As the group works through the details, Port Executive Director Adam Lincoln says he's, quote, excited at the possibility that this project has for the community. And we'll have more about the delays on the Osprey Point project tonight on Apple Valley News Now at 5 and 6. Talking sports now, the 12U Reign baseball team punched their ticket to the Cal Ripken World Series after winning the Pacific Northwest region. Apple Valley News Now's Jake Gable spent time at practice with the Missouri-bound team and has more.
After winning the state tournament in Kennewick and the regional tournament in Montana, the Reign baseball team is headed to Branson, Missouri for the Cal Ripken World Series. You might be wondering who Reign is. Rain Sports Performance is a baseball facility in Pasco that hosts lessons and has their own tryouts for teams. This team is representing Kennewick American Youth Baseball.
Rain is the organization is a specific area, but to play under the KA logo, we have to be specific area. So all our boys are from Pasco and East Kennewick.
The sentiment of pride was echoed among both coaches and players.
It felt good, like all the practices that we've done have paid off.
We won state and then we won regionals, so then all our hard work is going to pay off in World Series.
The team is looking for some help from the community to pay for travel costs to Missouri, with multiple fundraisers set up.
So 100% of the proceeds are going to help the team get to Missouri, and their flights, hotel, all the travel costs that are included in that. We're doing the GoFundMe, like you mentioned. There's a nonprofit donation to Kennewick American Youth Baseball that will go to us.
The 42-team tournament starts on August 6th, featuring 25 teams from the United States as well as 17 international teams. In Kennewick, Jake Gable, Apple Valley News Now.
And the Rain team has multiple fundraisers coming up to help with the cost of travel. And making a difference here locally now, riding a bike is a childhood milestone that many take for granted. But for kids with disabilities, it can take a little extra support to reach that moment. Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen takes us to a summer camp in Kennewick that's helping turn pedals into possibilities.
At first glance, it looks like any bike camp. But for kids with disabilities, this moment is years in the making.
He is not afraid of the bike, so he goes there, he knows what he's doing, he's prepared. And I see him just in his facial expressions and how he's walking, he's very confident.
Adriana Stoll's son, Gregory, has autism. For kids like her son, the iCan Bike Camp uses adaptive equipment and trained volunteers to help kids with autism, Down syndrome, and other disabilities gain confidence on two wheels.
Every rider that comes to camp is successful in their own way. You know, everyone learns in their own at their own rate. Some riders come in and, you know, at the end of the week, they're independent solo riders. Some riders, the big goal is sometimes just breaking through that fear and sitting on a bicycle.
Here on the final stretch at the Southbridge Sports Complex, after just a couple days, many riders take off on their own for the very first time. There are 10 riders at the camp, and for each rider is at least 3 volunteers who take a class before every session on how to work alongside the riders and the bikes themselves. For volunteer Keith Sullivan, seeing the joy on the riders' faces makes it all worthwhile.
To see the young children strive and thrive to learn something new, and it is just, it's one for the soul. It's really good.
With each lap, riders like Gregory are proving that with the right support, anything is possible.
Finding something like this, that they are adjusting things for each individual, is just priceless for us.
Each rider trains for over an hour a day with the goal of riding independently. Reporting in Kennewick, Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
And the iCan Bike Camp is held across the country. Organizers say they're always looking for more volunteers to help bring this experience to life. Now, for more information on next year's camp, visit our website. That's applevalleynewsnow.com. And looking for something fun this weekend? Well, we've got your family-friendly events, free giveaways, and movies under the stars. We'll look at what's happening around town coming up right after the break.
Indiana battles the storm live from Seattle Sunday at noon on Apple Valley News Now.
If you have been injured in an accident and feel you have a legitimate claim, remember our courthouses were built and our legal system developed for the purpose of resolving disputes. Allen Brecky Law Offices emphasize the rights of accident victims.
On behalf of STCU, we want to present you with this $1,000 check.
Brian is the regional logistics leader. He makes sure things are ready when it comes to disaster response.
I went out there and I really enjoyed what we were doing. We were handing meals out to people that were affected by the wildfires. And they were so appreciative, they were thankful. And it just gave me a good feeling. I said, I got to do this some more.
STCU honors volunteers in our community. To nominate someone, click on Volunteers Count at applevalleynewsnow.com.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
During July, Chevy drives America. Well-qualified buyers can get 0% financing on this Silverado with around $8,000 in total value. That's 15% below MSRP. See your community Chevy dealers.
Save now with 3 weeks of savings in Bi-Mart's latest savings book. Watch for it in your mailbox. Fran's half loaves of bread are 2 for $3. Seattle's best ground coffee is just $5.44. World Kitchen's 16-ounce beef jerky is $5 off. Bi-Mart Owner's Choice 30-roll bath tissue and 12-roll paper towels are just $19.99. And Rustler regular fit jeans are just $12.99. Save now with store-wide 3-week savings at Bi-Mart since 1955.
A drunk driver just blew a stop sign and we collided. My vehicle was totaled. What about the vehicle? How am I gonna get to work? How am I gonna continue taking care of my family? I contacted Tamaki Law and I told them about what had happened. Tamaki made it very simple, very easy. It was a stress relief for me. If you happen to be in an accident, call Tamaki Law.
If you have been injured in an accident and feel you have a legitimate claim, remember, our courthouses were built and our legal system developed for the purpose of resolving disputes. Allen Brecky Law Offices emphasize the rights of accident victims.
When you're one of the hottest Latin pop stars with over 14 million followers, where do you go for your first morning TV concert ever? This morning, Latin pop superstar Manuel Turizo burns up your summer morning on Good Morning America's Summer Concert Series, sponsored by Massage Envy.
We're raising the stakes.
We have a chance to win $500,000.
What the? I'm excited to see the phony relationships ripping apart at the seams. It was nice knowing you guys.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is a first alert weather day, and speaking of the devil, we actually have an update on this Lake Creek fire that's burning in rural Umatilla County, 9 miles to the southeast of Pilot Rock. Just got an update from the National Interagency Fire Center. This fire is now 500 acres. Don't have any word on containment, so we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on this. Thankfully, it is burning in a very rural part of the county. Now let's take it to another part of the viewing area. Actually, this is technically a little bit outside of the viewing area, but the Gorge Amphitheater in George, the Gorge at George, as Stacy Lee would say, it's going to be about a 30% chance of some thunderstorms today. Highs around 90, but plenty of sunshine. We'll keep it dry for Saturday and Sunday. Highs in general bouncing between 85 to 90. So sunscreen and water are going to be imperative over the next handful of days if you're going to make the trip up that way. Here's your coatcast for today for the Tri-Cities. Maybe you would need a rain jacket around midday, but otherwise it is going to be t-shirt weather. Let's take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast. We start off in Kittitas County, going to be around 90 in Ellensburg. Windy today in the valley, as gusts could be around 35 miles per hour. In the Yakima Valley, not as windy. These highs are going to be in the low to mid 90s. And again, across the map, we'll have about roughly 10 to 30% chances of showers and thunderstorms. It'll be the same thing in the lower Columbia Basin. These highs in the low to mid 90s, 80s and 90s for the foothills, and 70s and 80s in the Blue Mountains.
All right, Josh, it's the weekend almost, and it's looking pretty good weather-wise after a few storms. So let's take a look at some community events that are happening.
Yeah, there's always something going on right here in our own backyard, so this weekend is no exception. First up, if your back-to-school checklist, already talking about back-to-school, that's tough. But if your back-to-school checklist still has a few things left to cross off, Kennewick is the place to be this weekend.
That's right. The Back to School Bash is happening this Saturday at Columbia Gardens Wine and Artisan Village. It's from noon to 3 p.m. And the best part, admission is totally free and open to everybody.
Local favorite, you can help me out with this one?
Botana's Culichi?
That one is teaming up with community partners to give away free school supplies, plus tons of family fun. There will be live music and dance performances, face painting, and piñatas for the kids, not to mention plenty of food samples to snack on.
Ooh, so whether you're picking up supplies or just looking for a fun Saturday outing, the Back to School Bash has something for everybody. So grab your backpack, bring the whole family, and get ready to celebrate the start of a new school year in style. And after you stock up on those school supplies, you might want to make a splash. That was cute. I liked that. So the Pasco Fire Department is hosting a summer safety event this weekend. It's designed to help protect families around the water.
Yeah, it's not just about pool fun, it's about prevention and preparation. On Saturday, head to Memorial Aquatic Park at 5 p.m. for the free water safety event.
The Pasco Fire Department's water rescue team will offer hands-only CPR training, also tips for staying safe on local waterways, and free life jackets for kids and adults. And the life jackets come courtesy of the Washington State Parks Boating and Water Safety Program. And fire crews will be there to make sure that every vest is the right fit.
Say it's too big, there's always chances that it could pop up. Not only just pop up and off their body, but if it popped up and covered their face, covered their airway. And then are they able to untangle themselves, get it down in order to float and stay above water?
The water safety event leads into a free family swim night at 6:15 with a movie in the park to follow after dark.
Organizers hope families walk away safer and with a little summer fun too. The event is free to the public and you don't need to register in advance. All right, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, we've got your morning sprint, everything you need to know before you head out the door. And Josh right here will be back with your full first alert weather forecast. Any hints on what's happening?
Yeah, more lightning in the forecast for today, a nice weekend, and then maybe some more unsettled weather late Sunday into Monday. I'll touch on it all on the other side of the break.
Feeling overwhelmed? It's time to shed your worries, literally. At Columbia Basin Buildings and Sheds, we've got the perfect shed to clear the clutter, create space, and bring peace to your life. Man cave, playhouse, done. Want something custom? We'll build it just the way you want it. And we deliver for free. Summer is here. Shed the mess, shed the stress. See dealer for special pricing. Visit Columbia Basin Building and Sheds today in Kennewick or West Richland.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's summer event time, Sam. Great time to buy.
A Ford F-Series truck.
Take your pick. Gas, all-electric, hybrid, and diesel. With impressive towing capability for any size to-do list. Like building a house.
A two-story brick colonial.
Or hauling that boat to the lake.
What?
That's actually on my to-do list.
Oh.
Lease a 2025 F-150 XTX Super Crew 4x4 for $349 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some. Gimme Some Bagels.
First, at Shriners Children's, the world's most advanced scoliosis procedures are born here. In fact, we deliver access to the world's best doctors for nearly every pediatric orthopedic condition. We're delivering care without compromise is our promise. And kids can just be kids. Because being first always starts with empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
J.D. Power has ranked Nissan #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands. And to celebrate, you can now get in one of these award-winning SUVs with 0% APR for 60 months. The all-new turbocharged Nissan Murano, the rugged Nissan Pathfinder, and the best-selling Nissan Rogue. Visit Nissan today and drive away in an award-winning SUV.
Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on the 2025 Nissan Rogue, Pathfinder, or Murano.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is indeed a first alert weather day, as just like with yesterday, there's the potential for lightning fire. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Now, thankfully, the vegetation not going to be as dry as yesterday, but still critically dry in the Cascades and the upper Yakima Basin and for lower elevations. Wind's going to be, well, maybe a little bit breezy for this morning, but really picking up after 2 p.m. The windiest conditions going to be in the Kittitas Valley. Some of those gusts around 35 miles per hour. Now let's show you the lightning potential for today with Futurecast. By 8 this morning, maybe some showers or thunderstorms generating in the Blue Mountains, the Blue Foothills. By lunchtime, some of this getting into the lower Columbia Basin around 4 p.m. Now some of these thunderstorms starting to fire up in the valleys and in the Cascades. Now at 8 p.m. and deeper into the evening, looks like we're going to dry things out. And Saturday will end up being a mostly dry day for most spots, but you see down here in the southern blues, especially down towards the Battle Mountain Summit and Ukiah, that's where we could have a low-end chance of another shower thunderstorm, about 10% chances. We'll talk about Sunday in a second, but first, the winds for tomorrow are going to pick back up once again, mainly after 2 p.m. and the gustiest conditions once again going to be in the Kittitas Valley. Now Sunday is looking a little bit more interesting, about 10 to 30% shower chances in the Blue Foothills, 30 to 50% thunderstorm chances in the Blue Mountains. Those are going to go up for Sunday night. And then by Monday, the viewing area really going to be split in half. The eastern half of the viewing area going to have about 20 to 40% chances of thunderstorms, about 10 to 20% chances of just regular old rain showers for the western half of the viewing area. We'll see how that evolves over the coming days, but thankfully the fire start potential is going to be even lower. It's not going to be zero, but even lower as the vegetation dryness situation is going to improve just a little bit. Okay, after Monday, our forecast is looking calmer. Also, it's looking cooler. We're going to have up and down high temperatures over the next handful of days, but you see for next week in general, about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. A low-end chance of showers today, a beautiful weekend, then maybe some thunderstorms return by Monday. In Yakima, a 20% chance of thunderstorms Friday, sunny and very warm this weekend, then perhaps a shower comes back into the picture early next week. In Ellensburg, thunderstorms possible today, dry for Saturday and Sunday, then a small chance of a shower Monday. For Hermiston, a low chance of a shower Friday, a beautiful Saturday, the more unsettled weather possible Sunday into Monday. Finally, for Walla Walla, chances of lightning for today, and maybe we'll run it back for late Sunday into Monday.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is 5:51. It's time for your morning sprint in our 5 o'clock hour, and we're starting off with the top 5 local stories that you need to know. First up, the man who shot and killed a man outside the Uptown Shopping Center in Richland has been sentenced to 23 years in prison. Isaiah Rodriguez pleaded guilty to shooting Michael Perkins in November last year. This is after an argument turned deadly. He was later arrested in Oregon on a nationwide warrant. In Prosser, police are investigating after several people broke into the school district administration building Wednesday night. Officers found extensive damage and several broken trophies from the 1950s. A teen was found hiding inside and taken into custody for burglary. And a speeding stop in Kennewick turns into a struggle. Police say 40-year-old Andrew Acton got out of his car, refused commands, and resisted arrest. He's now facing charges of obstruction and resisting. And flying to California from the Tri-Cities is about to get a whole lot easier. Alaska Airlines is launching daily flights to Burbank starting October 26th. And this is just as Avelo Airlines ends service on their route there. Breeze Airways will also have flights to that area. Finally, the Pasco Fire Department is hosting a free water safety event this Saturday at Memorial Aquatic Park. They'll offer CPR training, safety tips, and free life jackets starting at 5 p.m. Families are invited to stay and swim before enjoying the Minecraft movie Under the Stars. Now to your national headlines. The presidential fitness test is back. President Trump signed an executive order yesterday that officially reestablishes the test in public schools. He was joined by several professional athletes, and the fitness test was first introduced by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1966. In 2012, President Obama replaced the test with an assessment called the FitnessGram. In your business headlines, Starbucks is closing the door on pickup-only stores. The coffee chain's CEO said this format, which debuted 6 years ago, lacked, quote, the warmth and human connection that defines our brand. At the roughly 90 Starbucks pickup locations, customers were advised to order via the app, get their drinks, and then leave. And some of these spots might be transformed into regular Starbucks stores. Starbucks recently reported its 6th straight quarter declining sales at locations open for at least a year. In your health headlines, President Trump is launching an effort, to make it easier for Americans to access their own medical records. More than 60 companies have signed a pledge to help develop new ways to make patients' data more widely accessible across the healthcare system. Some of those companies include tech giants like Amazon, Apple, and Google. And Trump unveiled the initiative's framework during a speech at the White House on Wednesday. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services says the companies have committed to deliver results by early next year. And talking sports, a community tribute to Olympic gymnast Suni Lee has been stolen in St. Paul, Minnesota, just 2 years after it was unveiled. Police say the brass statue honoring Lee was taken from its pedestal near Lake Fallon, and this was along with the stone bearing her name. So it's unclear exactly when it was stolen, but investigators believe it happened between Wednesday and Thursday. The statue was unveiled on Sunisa Day in 2023, making Lee the first female athlete to be honored with the statue in St. Paul Park. The Olympic gold medalist was recently recognized at the ESPYs as Best Comeback Athlete after battling kidney disease. So far, no suspects have been named and no arrests have been made. And now trending this morning, apparently people have been getting inked up for a long time.
Archaeologists are investigating intricate tattoos found on a prehistoric Siberian woman. Researchers used high-resolution photography to create a 3D scan of the mummy, whose remains were preserved by permafrost in the Altai Mountains.
So according to a study, the woman from the Iron Age had tattoos on both forearms, but the ones on the right forearm were more intricate.
I think this one said thunder, this one said lightning. Modern-day tattoo artists worked with the researchers to help identify tools and techniques that may have been used by their counterparts more than 2,000 years ago.
You know how some people don't like tattoos because they're like, oh, when you get old, it's going to look all weird. Well, she looks pretty cool, you know?
Yeah, and no, actually, they're going to be there 2,000 years
Exactly.
from now.
So, yeah, it'll make me look cooler than everybody else. You're not a tattoo person.
I'm not, but I think that whole, well, you know, it's permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point.
Well, our bodies aren't permanent, right? So.
It's true.
Yeah, there we go. Anyways.
Morbid. Happy Friday.
It's not morbid. It can be taken in a good light.
Yeah.
You know, if you believe in that. Anyways, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 6, from fields to future, Yakima County farmers are turning to tech to tackle labor challenges. We have the farming innovations that are being tested right now. That's all coming up at 6. Plus, the Prince of Cuteness has arrived at a California wildlife preserve. Why this baby rhino's name is making headlines. All those details are coming up in that 6 o'clock hour.
And maybe some more existential conversations ahead. Also, first alert weather day for the potential of lightning fires and a preview of your weekend forecast. All that coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.